The first thing I would say is there's an issue with reporting, especially for if there's any corruption involved. And in these kind of crimes, they're almost, I haven't heard of a story yet where there hasn't been some form of corruption involved in the story. This is not to say that everybody's bad in certain places, because this is what I learned in this whole thing was, here's the world. There's these people in different jobs, people at different levels of different jobs, and there's good and bad in almost all of them. But because that exists, the bad exists, you cannot leave me as a victim to only be able to go to the police if they're involved. Or if I've been hurt by one, they don't need to be involved, they could still block you. Reporting has been a total failure on these stories. And it probably took 30 years for me to get loud enough and mad enough to fight through it, which is awkward when there's people in those positions that you know are good. so protocol needs to be in effect. And this is true with rape victims too, because there's a huge rape culture and it's feeding the human trafficking. So you go to a police officer and there may be a protocol of, oh, they'll meet with an advocate and you'll get a rape kit and da-da-da-da, and there goes the rape kit to the police department. Well, if you're in this kind of problem, why are you giving all the evidence to a place that, in my situation, hurt me? Someone there was involved in it. Why would I go there and give them my evidence? So there's a problem, and we've discussed this with the advocates, that even the rape crisis centers, that there needs to be another plan for rape kits. There needs to be another plan for reporting. There needs to be accountability. You cannot look at, your job as an officer is not to look at somebody and say, well, let me decide if I believe her. That's not your job. You need to take that report and take it seriously, because very few people lie. And a lot of trauma can look unstable. No one's supposed to be stable after being raped over and over again. No one is supposed to be able to explain to you clearly so that you can understand and believe them. That's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to reach out and try to get help before they die. So there needs to be a protocol where each case that is reported, whether it's rape or human trafficking, is handled a different way, where there's more accountability, where there's more people involved in the report, that the victims are knowing that it's taken seriously, because schools have covered it up, military has covered it up, police departments have covered it up. You've got so many rape cases that are being covered up. Why would human trafficking be any different to anybody? So there has to be accountability, and there's a lot of good people in enforcement and that, but that doesn't matter to me if I can't find them, if I don't get to them. So that's why a protocol where everybody has to handle things a certain way, and it's accountability. And it's also, there is the perpetrators infiltrate helping systems. So you could have a coalition to fight human trafficking, and they will come in to be a member of the coalition. Because if a certain victim comes in, they will know where she's at, they will know where she's going. And so that's another problem. You can't just give one way to get help. They'll say, when we get a victim, they'll go through us and this will happen. Well, if that's infiltrated, nobody wants to go there. That's at least certain types of crimes. They're not going to go there. And shelters, the human trafficking shelters, if you're not arrested as a girl that's been on the street, you can't get into a lot of shelters, because they don't want you coming straight from the street, because it endangers the house. But we're doing outreaches. We have girls that want out, that need rescue. We're getting calls saying someone's in trouble, and where are we can't put them in a human trafficking shelter? Well, maybe some have a process, but I haven't been able to get through. So So there's things that need to change, and people are doing, the coalitions, the shelters, and the good law enforcement, they're doing a good job. I don't want to say that they're not. But they need to understand and listen to the victims of what we're telling them. This is not okay. We're not letting people slip through the cracks that are just a certain type of victim, or somebody the people don't want to help. So anyway, that I think needs to be changed.